All right, today we're doing lesson 5.4, and the function rule is what we're going to talk about today. Now, does everybody know what a function rule is?
Well, it's just like the equation to...
It is. When we talk about it, we're just basically going to make up an equation that fits our data. So that's basically what the end run will look like. It's going to look like an equation. So here's our first example. In your little brain cells, you are thinking, what do I do to x to get y? And you have to do the same thing all the time. Okay? What do you think?
X squared plus 1.
Now, we have to test it. So if we put 3 in, 3 squared is
9.
plus 1,
10.
we get our answer. Put the 4 in, 4 squared
16.
plus 1.
17.
All right, so what you have to do is you're going to have to decide a rule that fits all of the data. Good job. Now, let's go look at a couple others. Now, if you're giving these, the first thing you want to look, are these consecutive numbers? Everybody knows consecutive 1, 2, 3, 4, right after each other. So what's the difference here?
1.
It's always 1. Then you want to think what happens, so in other words, when we have our equation, we're having 1x. Then you need to figure out what it would be for 0. So what would it be for 0? Okay?
Subtract 2.
Well, but I'd go back 1, so it'd be a minus 2, right?
Yes.
So does this rule work? Well, if we look at it, if we put 3 plus a -2, that's 1, isn't it? So if you notice, we took the common difference, that was times our x, and then figure out what it is for 0. So if you look at the next one, what's our common difference?
2.
Will everyone agree that that's 2? So your equation is y equals 2x. Well, then we have to figure out what it is for 0. What would it be for 0?
0.
It would be 0. So if I put 3 in here, and you basically wouldn't have to put that. If you put the 3 in here, 2 times 3 is 6, and we got what we needed. Okay? So let's try, again, consecutive numbers. What's our common difference?
1.
Has everyone seen how we get that? You got to give me the head bobs, that way I kind of know what's going on. All right, then you have to figure out what it is for 0. What would it be 0?
2.
2. So you put plus 2, and then does it check? Like if you put the 3 in here, 3 plus 2 is?
5. And for that middle one,
Uh-huh.
if it's just y equals 2x plus 0, do we even need, okay, I just
You don't-
have it
You
that
don't
way.
need that. All right, so when we do the equation, you first check, do we have consecutive numbers? Then you look for the common difference. That's the number that's going to be times x. Then you find out what 0 is. So far, so good? Well, let's see what they ask us to do on page 2. Oh, if you look at the objective for today, which I've not been good at, it says write a function rule given a table or a real world situation, which means word problems, right? We know that means word problems. Okay, so if you look at this first one, it says write a function rule. A journalistic class makes $25 per ad sold in a yearbook. If N represents the number of ads, how much money will they earn? Well, this one's pretty easy because we know N is the number sold, and no, you have to tell me your variables. So when you get ready to write a function rule, it's not from a table, you have to tell me what. Now, P of N is using function notation. I could say this one is x and this one is y. I would have the exact same thing. Correct? So, in this particular case, y is equal, how much do we earn an ad? 25. So for us, our equation would be y equals 25x. Then if they sold 6, they're asking you to use the function notation. So basically, don't you put 6 times this and you get $150?
Yes.
All right. Here we have a quick check. A carpenter buys finished nails by the pound. Each pound of nails costs $1.19. Write a function rule. So what's my first thing?
Define.
Herbie,
No, define your variable.
okay, what do you want to define it
N,
as? As what is it going to be?
is equal to the pounds of nails.
All right, that's one variable. What's the other variable? Because we're going to need two. What are they asking us to find? Anna,
Would it be the total cost?
okay, what variable shall we use for total cost?
T.
So our equation is going to be N equals or T equals?
T equals
How much does it cost a pound?
$1.19.
So is there any question about how we wrote the equation? And then down here, if we had to find the total cost for 12 pounds, you basically multiply. All right, so today's lesson is writing a rule. The first thing we have to realize that a rule is just an equation, and when you're dealing it with a table, you will have some that'll have squares in it, you know. You'll look for a common difference, and then what zero, and then you write your equation. If they give you a table, you can use X and Y, and you do not have to define it. If you have a real-world situation, you need to define the variables, write the rule, and then answer any questions. All right, do you have any questions? Turn it off. How long was I?